moisturizing is not conditioning. And we treat the scalp very different than we do the hair itself. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to select your products with intention and be very careful on looking at the moisture content or the oil content in each product. Hello and welcome. Ladies, this show is predominantly for you today, because we are going to truly focus on styling secrets for thinning hair to support you, boost your confidence, and just make you feel good about how you look in the mirror when you leave the house or when you pass by a mirror at a store or someplace else. Because as we know, a bad hair day can totally ruin our entire day. So I've created 4 quick steps for you to help you stay focused. So if it makes it easier, I'm going to go through and actually illustrate these steps. So take a minute and jot these down or come back to this podcast so you'll be able to truly jot these down and help yourself each morning when you get ready. So without further ado, let's get started. So first step is proper shampooing and proper cleansing. You know, we can sit here and have an hour podcast just on the right shampoo and the right proper massaging and the steps that you need to take in the selection of the shampoos. I'm sure you all have wonderful stylists that are out there, and I'm sure the stylists are very focused on the hair itself. What happens though with thinning fine hair is that we run into an issue of the scalp and the hair competing. So today I'm going to try to cross over and give you a little bit of information on both. But the first area that we're going to kind of just stay targeted is the actual way to properly shampoo the scalp. So if you will, I'm going to demonstrate. So let's just say, hypothetically, right, this is my shower and I'm reaching off screen because I need to get a product. And I do want to add one disclaimer here. So the products that I'm using on today's episode is just simply the products that we have at HPI Hair Partners. We're not promoting, we're not selling. These are not our products. So they're just for demonstration purposes only. When you get in the shower and you wet your hair very well and you saturate under the shower, I always tell everyone, instead of the shower hitting you here in the frontal hairline, which is many times where you're truly having some of your majority of your thinning, or at least the thinning that really is focused and is in your focal point every time you look in the mirror, I ask you to turn around and allow the water from the shower to hit you from the back of the head. And so from there, the hair then is completely saturated. You're then going to take a small amount of product, apply it into the palm of the hand, massage it together. And then I want you to then begin with the front of the hairline and start to work the product in through here. And then as you work it through, you'll work it into the back of the crown area, and then also underneath and up into the nape of the neck to meet the crown. After you've done this, then I want you to take the hands back through and really start massaging the scalp. Now, I'm being very deliberate on this massage because I want you to understand something. But if you will notice, you see my forehead move back and forth because I am truly moving the skin around the cranial bone of my head. And this is what I need you to do very intentionally for at least 30 seconds, okay? 60 seconds is better. And there are amazing, great tools on the market. We even have some on our website that are truly scalp massagers that will do this for you. You can also go ahead and when you go in for your actual full body massage, ask the masseuse to spend an extra 10 or 15 minutes on your scalp. It's a great way to get that stimulation going, and this is critical for us thin and fine hair women. So once you've massaged for your 30 to 60 seconds, you'll rinse. Again, shower coming here from behind, just as a protocol before. Clean the scalp really well with cool water. I get it. If you like warmer water and it makes you feel better, that's fine for your body. You'll have to worry about that at a different time. But for your hair, I'd like that water to be tepid to cool. Doesn't have to be cold and it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. But rinse very well. Make sure that the hair here, the extension hair, and I don't mean actual physical extensions that you've put in the hair that's extending from the scalp down to the ends. Make sure that's rinsed really well as well as the scalp. Then step 2, with inside, step 1, if you will. So let's call it item B is your conditioning step or your moisturizing step. So here I want you to squeeze out the excess moisture in the hair. And the first thing I want to tell you is that moisturizing is not conditioning. And we treat the scalp very different than we do the hair itself. So I want you to think about that. And I want you to select your products with intention and be very careful on looking at the moisture content or the oil content in each product. So what I mean by that is that the product that you use for your scalp might be very different than the product that you're going to be using here for your hair, right? So again, seek counsel, seek advice from your salon, from your stylist. Always, you are welcome to feel free to send us an email and we can advise you there. But it is important to understand the difference in the pH from the scalp to the hair. What your scalp needs is very different than what your hair needs. So take this to heart and really be careful on your product selection. So the product for the scalp, you'll use a very small amount. I always use a pea as my kind of analogy or indicator. So you'll apply that pea size, you'll work it in, start in the same areas of working it through the scalp. Now, what I would say is instead of starting here right in the front, I like you to start here around the ears, and you'll work straight back into the crown area. And then you'll come back and work from the front hairline back to the crown. From here, then you will change the product application, and then you're going to now use the product that you want to use for the ends of your hair. Whether you're strengthening the hair or whether you're creating less tangling in the hair, this is when you'll use this product now. You'll then apply the product, emulsify it through both hands, and then work it through the hair itself. At this point, then what I want you to do is come back to the top of the scalp, and I want you to perform that same 30-second massage and really, really massage that product into the scalp. The moisture now is getting deep into the layers of the skin, and it's going to help any scalp conditions, dryness, irritation that you might have. Then from here, you will then start to comb the other conditioner through the ends of the hair. Leave both on for 30 to 60 seconds. Same rinsing protocol that we talked about with the shampoo. And then make sure that you've squeezed out and reduced all the excess water in the hair before you exit the shower. If you have longer hair and the hair is 6 inches or longer, we have a tendency to want to wrap our hair up in a towel, right? And leave it until we get our clothing on or until we get some of our morning routine completed. Please don't do that. It can cause breakage and damage. And if your hair is fine and thin, it's even that much worse for it. So please be cautious of this. So what I recommend doing is getting out of the shower, flipping your head upside down, using the towel to actually truly squeeze out the excess moisture in the hair, and then truly remove the excess moisture on the scalp with the towel itself. And then if you have to continue here, because if the hair is longer, go ahead and continue throughout the bottom of the ends of the hair. We call this the mid-shaft to the ends, if you will. This is when you want to take the opportunity and you want to apply, and again, I'm just using a product as an example. This happens to be a mousse, but I'm going to pretend this is a spray. And so you're going to actually spray the product on the ends of the hair from the mid-shaft or the ear down, and then work it into the hair. This particular product is going to be a thermal protector. Also, any type of blow dry spray to protect the ends of the hair if you are truly going to blow dry the hair. So, and then which is most important when we move into step 3, but you need to make sure that step 2 is finished and that you've gone through the steps so that it will truly protect the hair from the blow dryer or from any heat tools that you might be using. So after you have performed this and sprayed in the product, you'll go back with your wide tooth comb. I have an example here I'm going to show you. So it's just an nondescript wide tooth comb, but it's very important to start here and then work yourself up. Again, for thin, fine hair, this is critical because the hair here is so very different than what's going on the scalp. And the ends of the hair have a tendency to be neglected. And so therefore they start breaking, and then we're in this vicious cycle of that the hair is breaking off faster than it's growing, and you just do not like the way that your hair looks at the end of the day. So we need to be really careful and deliberate on how that we're going to go through these processes and steps. So Now we're on to step 3, right? And so we are ready to either continue to absorb more moisture out of the hair, towel dry the hair further because we're going to let the hair dry on its own, or we're going to truly move into a process to where we're going to dry the hair. And so when we start this drying process, it's very important that you understand that the hair is at least 50% dry before you start using any type of heating element. The other thing is pay particular attention to the product that you have. Make sure that you have several speeds on your forceful air, and then make sure that the temperature gauge also has 3 temperatures, a low, a medium, and a high. If you are experiencing hair loss, thinning hair, brittle hair, sore scalp, whatever you do, don't ever turn that dryer mode and that heat mode up to high. You want to keep it at low to medium. And so when your hair is at 50% dryness, then we want to go ahead and then move forward with applying any type of styling product that we're going to use. So if you are using a product with a spray, then you will spray it into the root area here. You will be diligent about separating out and getting into the root all across the top of the scalp, all the way through here, and then you will work it through with your fingers. If you're using a mousse, then what you're going to want to do is use a small amount of the mousse into your hand and then work it in through the hands. And then from there, work it in from the sides or from the crown forward. You do not want to apply a massive amount of product here in the front area. This is where you're starting to see more thinning and fine hair, because the product will really kind of condense and it will start to be too sticky and too thick, and then you'll hate the way the end of the hairstyle looks for you. Then we're going to move into the drying phase. The drying phase, again, as I mentioned, is going to be on a medium intensity air setting, and then you're also going to be on a medium or a low setting with your heat. When you start to dry, the most important thing is you're just going to dry the roots, and you're going to do that first. Afterwards, if you find that the hair is still 80% damp and you want to finish the ends, either by rounding those out or by flipping those up or giving a little bit more smoothness to the ends, then you're going to take some time and really separate the hair in section at a time and move around. The hair does not have to be 100% dry when you have finished with step 4. I know what you're thinking is that I don't understand what I'm talking about, because you have fine, thin, frizzy hair, and that if you don't dry it all the way, it's going to look like a mess by the end of the day. And in certain ways, you are exactly right. However, it works against you when you over dry the hair, because the hair then is swollen and it explodes. And so the hair now comes out even more frizzy and more flyaway. So if you do have curly hair, or as you call frizzy hair or textured hair, make sure when you're finished with this drying process, you go back with a finishing product and then either apply a small amount of a finishing product to the ends, or you're going to apply a type of an oil to the ends and then work it through and work it all the way through all of your layers. And if it's a light finishing product or a dry shampoo, you'll go ahead and bring it up to the top and then work it in a little bit more to the hair itself. As you can see, this is not a good hair day for me, but that's okay. I'm just trying to give you an illustration. That concludes our step 4. I hope that we've been able to share with you a few tips on styling your thin hair to give you a little bit more of a self-confidence to feel when you leave the house in the mornings or when you're going for a big event. And as always, if you have additional questions or you want to reach out to HPI Hair Partners and talk to one of our trichologists or hair loss specialists about styling or any issues, feel free to look down in the chat and you'll see contact information. But until our next episode, as always, thank you and make it a great hair day. See ya. Bye-bye.